Hi folks, this is Dan, a Watchman for the King. This channel is primarily going to be focused on the daily events that we see and how we might understand them from a biblical perspective. This introduction video is going to be to present you with the reason why someone may want to even pay attention to these things. So first of all, let's get this out of the way. God is real. He runs the show, and that is regardless on if you believe in him or not. So you're going to have to get over that. He holds us accountable to know that he is there and that he is the creator. So our problem, we didn't listen to him. He gave us a simple set of instructions, and Adam and Eve, they disobeyed. This brought what he calls sin into the world. And it also caused a curse for all of creation. Every human following to be born is under that curse. Creation is even under that curse. Every human is a sinner. No matter how good a person is, or how many good deeds or works a person does, God is just and holy and righteous. He created the moral standard by which he wants us to live. He can't be around sin. Therefore, we cannot be around him. The penalty needed to be paid for in order to be reunited with our Creator is death. And the only way around that is through blood atonement. Now, there's a lot that goes into the Bible in understanding all of this. So I can't get into all that in this video. Okay? So for a few millennia, he had a particular group of people act out what the payment would entail, basically. Okay, so let me try to keep this kind of short. He called a single man living in amongst pagans, born of a pagan father. He was a pagan himself, from Ur, in the plains of Shinar, which today we call southern Iraq. Abraham was his name. Abram is what he was called at the beginning, later renamed to Abraham by God. And he listened to that call, and he went in, and he went out from where he was, followed God into a new land, and the Jewish nation was born. Now, that all is a really long story. You can read through Genesis. It can be discussed. There's lots and lots of good commentaries on it. Lots of good Bible teachers out there. I will cover them in other videos, and anyway, I'm going to just keep this going. All right, so our Creator had to choose a group of people to bring a message to the rest of humanity, in order to be consistent, so that we would understand the signposts that he needed to present. So first came a man, then came his descendants, then a nation, and a kingdom, and a royal line, all to prepare for our Creator to step into his creation and pay the debt that needed to be paid. Okay? So let's back up and discuss sin for a second. Through this people group, he provided his created beings a set of laws. So basically, he gave the Jews the 10 Commandments and then additional laws. That if any person could live by all of them without breaking any of them, then they would be worthy of being with God, in and around God, because they would be righteous. Well, there's not one. Unfortunately, not a single human being has been able to live up to even the Ten Commandments. For example, let's put it this way, okay? Have you ever told a lie? Well, boom, you're a sinner, okay? Have you ever disobeyed a parent at any point in time in your life? Again, sinner. Have you ever taken anything, no matter how small, a piece of candy, a dime, whatever? How about pirated music or a show or a movie? How about used another person's password for streaming services that weren't yours? That's all called theft. Again, sinner. So let's go further. Have you ever looked at another person with lust? And it doesn't matter who or how. It's, did you look at them with any type of desire? How about porn? Those kind of things. Have you ever been involved sexually outside of a marriage covenant, which is one man and one woman? That's called sexual immorality. Again, sin. So all these things that we're talking about are just examples of 4 of the 10 commandments. Okay? He gave us 10. For the first 4 are a vertical relationship with him. The remaining 6 are a horizontal relationship with others. Okay? He sums it up in the New Testament by basically saying, love God. That's the first 4. And love others as yourself. And that's the remaining 6. And they encompass all of that. Those 2 commandments encompass all the 10. As well as all the other stuff that you would read in Deuteronomy and Leviticus and stuff like that. So, do you see where this is all headed, though? Not a single one of us, not you, not me, have been able to keep up or keep any of his commandments. And if you've even done one sin, that separates you from God. Just one. So, we can't be in his presence. This is where we come back to needing a debt paid. And it has to be done because it was broken by a man. It has to be done by a man. So this is where God presented a royal line to step into creation and become a man that could keep the law. Here is about where we are 4,000 years after creation or 2,000 years after Abraham. We come to a humble carpenter named Jesus from Nazareth who fulfilled all requirements to pay that penalty. Right? Remember, this people group had been acting out of a sacrificial system and blood requirement for atonement of sin in various feasts and various times of the year. And that had been going on for 2,000 years, since Abraham was given those instructions. Okay? This is where we finally get to some of the salvation message. God, the creator of you and me, and all that exists, became a man, lived from birth a sinless life, and then went innocent, willingly, to lay down that life to pay that penalty. Okay. So now sin is paid for. All right? Blood has been spilled, given up. And anyone who accepts this and truly believes they're redeemed. They're ready to go. You are now able to be with God again. Until you sin again. Thought, deed, whatever. So that wouldn't work. So God's not about to keep repeating this cycle where he comes into creation, dies, and pays for our sins over and over. That's not going to happen. Okay? So what did he do instead? To show that it was a once and for all thing, he conquered death. So not only did he pay the price with blood and death, he then did it once and for all by rising again in his same body, resurrected body, of course. And this is when it became perpetual salvation. Okay, so for those that accept the payment that was made, but also believe he rose again to show us all that he conquered death, that he is God, that he paid the debt, he is the embodiment of life itself, and that death can no longer keep us if we are in him and he is in us. Okay? The amazing thing is that this gift is given freely. He literally gave it to anybody who is willing to believe. Now, there's depths of belief. Okay? You can have had knowledge. Yeah, I believe in God, and I like the things that he says in the Bible, but you don't truly believe that he really did this for you. Okay? Well, in Romans 10:9-10, what it says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. So first believe, accept that he did it for you, and then confess him. Confess Jesus Christ is your Lord, and he did these things. So then what is justified? Justified. Think about it, just as if I'd never sinned. So now, because you've been justified, you can be in front of a holy and pure God. All right, so that puts you again now into a relationship with your Creator. It redeems you from the wages of sin, which is eternal death and separation from a loving God. Now you might say, Dan, I've done far too much. God can't possibly love me. He can't possibly forgive this sin. I'm not worthy enough, or he wouldn't want to save me. Well, that reminds me of something I once heard. Okay? I thought it was a great little story. On the day it's created, and it comes off the line crisp and clean, a $100 bill. It's sure nice to look at, nice to hold, and it's worth $100. Well, inflation today, it's still $100, right? Most people would say, yes, I want that $100. Okay? Well, take that same $100 without anybody else knowing. That $100 is used to buy drugs. Then the drug dealer takes it and spends it on a prostitute. The prostitute goes and gambles it away at a casino. And then someone then wins it and brings it into a bar. It's mishandled. It's dropped, crumpled, torn. Barely looks like it did when it first came out. But what is it worth? That $100, no matter what it looks like or what it's been through, is still worth $100. Okay? That's the way God sees you. You are his creation. And you're still worth the same the day that he put you together. In other words, he put you together and he's never found you any less worthy. You just need to accept the atonement for this thing that's called sin that we all are under. Okay? So this particular video is to get you to start thinking about salvation. We're all sinners. We're all in need of a Savior. Jesus came. He did exactly that. He paid the price, died, buried, rose again. And if you accept that, you acknowledge that, you believe it, so move it from your head to your heart. And then confess it. Let people know. There are people that say you need to get baptized. That's not a requirement. It's a confession, but it's not a requirement. So you're going to want to do those things, right? I'm going to continue videos. I'm going to continue making things that have to do with our day-to-day world that we live in. It's going to be end times related, and I'm going to point back to this video on all my videos for anybody who needs to hear about salvation. Okay? I hope you like this channel. I hope you subscribe, hit the little bell, share it with your friends. Let people know, because Jesus is coming back soon, and you want to be ready. You want to be saved, and you want to be watching for him. That's why I named this channel Watchman for the King. So I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again.